Hello everyone, welcome to the Packet Tracer Activity 8.2.1 from CCNP ENCOR course from Cisco. This activity is about configuring OSPF version 2 in a single area. So we have here the address table and objectives. First, we are going to configure OSPF version 2 and then in 3 routers, and then we are going to verify the configurations. So what the topology what we have here, we have, as you can see, 3 routers, and we have here LAN number. Here we have a LAN, here we have another LAN, and here we have another LAN. So we have 3 LANs as well. Okay, so what we need to configure OSPF in a single area, of course, we need, of course, the process ID for the OSPF. We need also the router ID. That's very necessary here. And here we have the router ID for R1, R2, and R3. And then we need, of course, to advertise the network. When we are advertising the network, you have to remember you have to use the network address, not IP address, the network address, and we have to use the wildcard. The wildcard is very easy to find. For example, here we have here 255 is going to be 0. Here we have also 0. Here we have also 0. And here we are going to have 255. To find the wildcard, the idea is simple. You need only to change the numbers into binary and then you flip the 1 into 0. So each one here is going to be 0, and then the consequence we will have 8 zeros, and here the number is going to be 0. The same here, and same as well here, and here the opposite. So here we are going to have 8 ones, and the output here as a consequence is going to be 255. Here we have 0 as a wildcard. We have also here 0 as a wildcard. Here we also have 0, and here we are going to, of course, change this to binary, and then we flip the ones into zeros, and the output here is going to be 3. Okay, so here also we have the same 0, 0, 0, and then 3. Okay, one more thing, as I mentioned, when we advertise a network, we are not allowed to use or advertise the IP address. We are advertising a network, which means that we have to find the network address, not an IP address. Returning to the wildcard, here as a trick, you can find very fast the wildcard. In this way, you can subtract each number from 255. So for example, let's consider this one here. We are going like 255 minus 255, the output is 0. Here 255 minus 255 is also 0. Here 255 minus 255 is also 0, and here 255 minus 0 is going to be 255, so the output is 0, 0, 0, 255. Here we are going to have also 0, because the result of the subtraction, 255 minus 255, 0. Here is also 0, here we also have 0, and here we are going to have 255 minus 252 is going to be 3. So the wildcard is going to be 0, 0, 0, 3. Okay, so let's get started. First, we are starting with R1. Enable configure terminal. And then we need the router to assign the OSPF process number. And here we are going to assign it OSPF 10 as is given in the tutorial. And as you can see here, now we have router config router. So now we are inside OSPF 10, and now we can give router ID. And it is 1.1.1 as it's given here, R1. And now we are going to advertise the network. So what we have here, we have actually 3 networks. As you can see, this is 1, 2, 3. And as I mentioned, we need to advertise the network address. Okay, so for the first one, we have network, and then the network address 172. 16 1, and this is a 0 as a network address, and then we need to give a wildcard which is 000 and then 255 as I explained at the beginning of the video, and then we give the area of course with number 0. Okay, so again check it one more time, 172 16 10, and then the wildcard. Okay, so let's move forward to the next network, which is here, this one. So we have again, we need to advertise this network, and then the IP address 172 168 or 16.3.0, and here we have the wildcard free, and then again area 0. Okay, for the last one we need also a network, and then 192 168 and here since we have here 252, so it means that this is the first network is still 4, and here with the next network is going to be, the network address is going to be 192 168 10, and this is 4. Okay, and the wildcard 0003, and of course the area 0. Okay, so we configured OSPF, we advertised of course the networks, and what else we need? We need to make this interface here passive, because we don't need to share routing information with the devices. We need only to keep the routing information between these 3 routers. So for this purpose we will make this interface here gigabit interface, and it is gigabit 00 to be passive. And to do this we just type passive interface and gigabit 00. Okay, so we have done with the first one. We are going to repeat the same, of course, with R2. Enable, configure terminal, and then router OSPF. Of course, the process ID is 10, and then router ID is 2.2.2.2 as is given here. And then we need to advertise the networks, and the first one is going to be 172 as is given here, 172, and then 16, and then 2 0 with wildcard 000 255 area 0. Okay, so we need the second one here. Again, network. Remember, this is an IP address. I need the network address, so I'm going to change this to 0 because the subnet mask is 252. And here I have the wildcard 3 and area 0. Again, I have this one here. Here we have network. And here, remember, this is not the network address, this is the IP address of the interface, so I need the network address. And since here I have 252, so here the network address is going to be 8, and the wildcard is going to be 3, and of course area 0. Okay, so which interface is going to be passive? This one here again, and it is gigabit Ethernet 00, so passive interface, sorry, gigabit Ethernet 00. Okay, so we have done with R2. Let's move forward, and then let's check, or let's configure router 3. Again, enable, configure terminal, and here we have router OSPF10. Here we have router ID 3.3.3.3. Then we need to advertise the networks. So here for the first one, we need the network address, and the wildcard is going to be 000,255 and area 0. Again, we need the same with this one. Here we have network, and here we have the network address. So this one is going to be 4, and then the wildcard is going to be 0,003, and area is 0. And finally, we have also this here. So as you can see here, there is now like the neighbor is starting to advertise and talking to each other. However, here we have network, and then we have here 8 as a network address, because here we have again 252, so 0,003 and area 0. And of course, which one is going to be passive here? This one here, which is gigabit Ethernet 00. So passive interface gigabit Ethernet 00. Okay, so as you can see, my completion is 100. Okay, so now we verify OSPF routing is operational. So let's go here, and of course we need to go to this mode and then show IP OSPF. And here we have all information. Here we have router ID, the process ID, which is 10, and here we have the ID of the router. Here we have information about this OSPF, and also we can show IP route OSPF. Now we are going to check the routing table, and as you can see here, it's OSPF, and here we have the networks with them. So here we have the route in the routing table. Okay, now let's verify the configuration. First, let's check the IP address here. If it's set configured, yes, it's configured here. Here is also is configured. Let's try it. Let's take this one, and let's try to reach from this machine. As you can see, it is reachable. And let's take this one. Again. Perfect. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next